And there we are again, ladies and gentlemen, for the fourth game of tonight. After two hard losses, SLOTHS were able to pick it back up against Reapers Gaming, and we're gonna see how that fares for the fourth game. But before we get to that, let me introduce back to my side, Fresh Tana. Welcome back.
Yeah, I'm hyped. Maybe people don't see that, but I'm so like my heart like pumping and pumping, and I mean it's such a crazy series, and it's maybe the start of a reverse sweep. We saw SLOTHS beating them. They won the first game after 5, 6, 7. After 7 games, they actually won now. I mean, just think about that.
They've had a long losing streak when you consider the last matches of the split itself. And that's a rough one on the mental. And I think this was really important for them to get the second win and try to carry that over now in the fourth game.
I have a bad joke. They have a second win.
Oh, I see.
Wind playing Cannon all the time. Now they have a second. That's so good. I mean, it's funny. I mean, I will probably get beaten down on like from the viewers because it's such a bad joke. But I needed to do that. But yeah, I want to talk about this Cannon. I think that was probably the biggest surprise for Reapers, I would say, to that they downplay it, that it just get picked away, and I believe, or at least that's maybe my philosophy about drafting, if the Cannon is that important, just first pick him. I mean, they already played against Aurelia twice. They never bent away Aurelia or any top lane matchup because Wind is just confident. So they can just first pick it. And Jinx is kind of important for them as well. But there are so many hyper carries in the game. Just pick another. I mean, it's not really about Freedom J playing Jinx. It's just about him on a hyper carry in the late game, and there are plenty of them. So maybe that's the way to go. Just first pick Cannon, and you're good to go, because that definitely played a huge factor in the draft.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that can be very important, and maybe it will even be banned. Who knows? I think Reapers did pick blue side this time around, so there is a possibility to first pick it. And taking in consideration how important he's been in the 3 past matches, I think it's actually in SLOTHS' interests in the end to ban that Cannon, because it's a champion that has so much influence on a team fight, like so much.
Yeah, definitely. I think one important factor which could be that they maybe ban out instead of Kragas, for example, ban out the Sylas. Because even though they had a great answer with Tristana and Lauder smacked the lane, I mean, it was not even close. He flame horized Bukan, but in the end, it's Bukan on Sylas.
Yeah.
And he just, I think it was 12-2 and 12 or something, so just phenomenal stats, even though he had no farm. So maybe just ban him out, because that was really critical to give him one of his main champions. And I don't think that the Kragas would have like destroyed the champ select like the Sylas did. So maybe that could be a drafting angle from Reapers, because like if we just say never change running system, the system isn't running anymore. So Reapers need at least to change something. And it could be just picking the Cannon as first pick. Maybe that's enough to change it. But yeah, let's see.
I mean, even if SLOTHS leave Cannon open and Reapers are able to first pick him, it's still dangerous to leave the Sylas open, because what makes Cannon so strong is his ultimate. Well, his other abilities, of course, are very important in order to make it work well. But if the enemies have a Sylas who could also steal it, it's also pretty dangerous. Makes the Sylas also very dangerous. So I think they should go with your tip there and ban that Sylas most definitely.
Yeah, and I think we saw Sylas being banned in the second ban phase twice. And now with SLOTHS just picking in the first rotation, Reapers either play against them again or ban him out. Because now they see, okay, they will actually pick him early, and we can't ban him out in the first three. We can't ban him out. So that's definitely a big option for Rift. But also, and if I'm being honest, they could just go for the same draft. I mean, Reapers didn't look bad in this game.
Yeah.
And they still have room for losses. So they could even lose a second one and still are on match point. So saying that, if they just play out those team fights better, maybe just build better item builds, I don't know. And maybe Lawlor playing with cleanse instead of a teleport or something like that, then they will maybe just win the team fight or win this game. So they could just go for the same draft because they know they could have done it better. Let's see where one of those two teams will make the first change. And I believe it will be the same bans, at least from SLOTHS side. And maybe Reapers drop something, but I believe we will just have the same 6 bans.
Yes, and it is well on the way, but this time around, Reapers are also taking their sweet time and definitely thinking it over. So even when the system doesn't work, there is at least the question of should we change it or should we try and force it? Yeah, we have the Lilia ban earlier than before, so it's already changed a bit. Although, well, it's not here. We have the Tristana ban. Yeah, I mean, Lolo was just so dangerous on it. They had to pick him out.
I mean, to be honest, Rice and Olaf are open with that, or one of them at least. And I don't know. There's a Silas at least. But with that, Misfortune is open. I think Misfortune can make a difference, but she isn't like the best champion in the world. I mean, she definitely works, but not with those dive comps. So maybe that's the reason why they didn't ban it, because they know, okay, they may maybe go for such a dive comp now, and then Misfortune isn't kind of that good in such a draft. But now with the cannon off the table and with the Jinx pickup, we will definitely see a different type of draft. And with Olaf and Karma being open, maybe we see an Olaf or Karma being picked here. No, not Karma, I mean Rice anyway, from SLOTHS. But now they will just probably go for the same kind of draft, just some access to the Jinx with the backline
really
dive.
Well.
Yeah.
I mean, Kinetics Kai'Sa really paid off in the end game, and Bartus Rakan also was very, very important here. I mean, he did some really, really good engages.
I predict a Rice. And maybe even Olaf blind, to be honest. Maybe just Rice and Olaf now. But Rice definitely. I think they will blind pick him,
No.
And it's kind of like in the Dynasty series where they always picked up Rice and Jinx. But yeah, you already talked about Kinetics Kai'Sa. If you remember, like one of the first kills where he flashed to read MJ, killed him with the Q, while Bartu, I think, he flashed it with Ignite or something. I mean, it was really a messy fight, but they got a kill on him, and that was the start of the snowball on bot lane. So I definitely like it. And there's the Maokai, I think for the is it the third time?
I think it's the third time, yes. He was there first game and last game, but the second game, it was not Maokai. I don't remember what it was.
It was Lee Sin. It was
a
crazy Lee Sin performance. Yeah, I can remember that.
Oh, and I was really happy for a second, because I don't think I have seen Bakan's Kassadin a single time this split. I know he's picked him quite a few times, but I have not had the opportunity to see it a single time. So now I'm a bit disappointed. But yeah, keeping on with that running system for now, this worked last game for them. And it just, or at least they sure as hope that it's going to work for this game around as well. Olaf was not picked up, so we have the opportunity to ban him how in the second ban phase.
Yeah, and like one of the questions is, do they even ban Kassadin? Because they hovered it and kind of like, look at, we want to play him, just ban him, but that could be a bait. I mean, that if they really would have liked to play him, they could have picked him because they already see the matchup, right? So they could just bait it because they know why is definitely more important to get into the backline. And I don't know if Reaper's really, because if they pick up Rice now, they still have 2 picks to kind of counter it, the Kassadin, because they can just draft some hard engage, some hard CC, and every time he jumps in, he's just dead. So that could be difficult to just pick Kassadin now. But
I was going to say, maybe it was the double reverse psychology, you know, because they hovered it so that Reapers think, oh, they want us to ban it, but actually they don't want us to ban it. No, okay, never mind, they're going to pick Talia.
Yeah, and like I said, if it would have been the most important pick for them, then they would have done it. So they just wanted to bamboozle us. And I really like the Talia. I mean, it worked out in one of those team fights really, really well. The reverse wall did a huge job. But especially now against Rice, I mean, she can't really punish it. Rice probably can at least a little bit punish Talia. So kind of like the matchup more for Rice. It's not like the hardest counter, to say the least. They don't have too many dashes yet, so Talia kind of feels out of a team comp even, because you really want this hard engage, you really want this backline dive, and Talia, she isn't jumping into them. She just tries to poke, so team comp kind of isn't like perfectly working like last time. Now we have Rel and Renekton for Reapers.
But the Talia has this wall that can be really instrumental here in separating Reapers, because in the end, they're still relying heavily on real MJ's Jinx here, right? On that hyper carry, and if you can isolate it from the rest of the team, it works really well. So yeah, we'll have to see. We're answering on that Renekton with a Malphite, and here we have both team comps set up.
Yeah. And if we look at those team comps, what do you think? Who has won the draft? Who has won this champ select?
Well, I'm a simple man. Reapers has the clearest goal here. So that's already a pretty strong point in their favor, because their only goal is keeping Jinx alive and having real MJ do its work, and you have Flolo who can also dish out some pretty neat damage there. Meanwhile, as you said, on sides of Rift SLOTHS, I mean, it's also pretty clear, but I do agree that Talia does feel kind of out of place. Yeah, I'd say I'd side with Reapers draft this time around.
Yeah, and they have Wind on Renekton. Like, I really like the performance of his Cyan. I mean, he got first blood and he kinda cracked his cannon, but having him on carries just feels so good. I really liked his cannon performance. I really like his Darius, his Olaf. Like, Wind is one of the best players on the top lane in our league so far, and having him on a carry always, for me, feels better. Because on a tank, it's kind of wasted potential. And like in some of those team fights, the Cyan, he can try to stack his Q and then gets interrupted and then has no damage and he just sits there and does nothing. But with Renekton, he can just dive into the backline, just kill someone, and maybe win the team fight on his own. So I really like him on a carry. And I really like the draft adaptations from both sides. And yeah, it's just the Rice Jinx again. It's so scary. So I would give this point to Reaper, sadly, because the Talia really looks out of place.
We'll see how that fares for them, or if Riftsloops were in the end able to get the right answers as we had it.
Nice. The Riff. It's Riff.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
There's even Gabush in the chat, by the way. Just just greetings to Gabosh in chat, because Gabosh won with Aoma and is in the finals waiting. Everybody, greet the Aoma gang, by the way. If Vamir is looking, greetings to Vamir, for example. Anyway, we have some mic issues on sides of Matters, but I think he's good to go here.
I am.
You are back, man. You are back.
Yes, it does seem like switching out the profile on my little app here is what works best.
Nice.
But well, I'm back again, and this time rather fast, so that's great.
I'm so excited, and I kind of like what Lex is doing, because if we talked about Lex, especially in the pre-show, we said that Lex usually goes for the split pushers. He has not the highest kill participation. He just tries to help his team with split pushers. And now it's a really, really important moment of the series. They can go for the reverse sweep. They need to win this game. So he goes for a tank. He knows what he needs to do. And he just knows, okay, I need to survive the lane. It's a good matchup. And then I'm just there for my team. So I really like that. Lex is playing for his team and not for the side lane. And I really like that people have like a second face, which is always important to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to get back in there. When here with the second level is trying to fight the aggression rather fast on Lex, is able to get some nice chunks of damage out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we already saw that some of those traits are really good, especially if he gets some auto attacks in. But the sustain is a really big problem in this matchup, because every single Q heals Wind. Meanwhile, Lex, of course, has his passive shield sometimes, so that's some kind of sustain as well. But in the long term, Renekton will just out survive him and out poke him, and so the matchup isn't like auto winning just because he won some pokes there.
Yeah.
But pause and we go back into it. So not a long pause.
Yes, nothing too bad happening. We have Liao ready on the Tribush on the bot side for a small gank is about to goes in. We're gonna dodge that. And also the Q from Liao, and this gank is already diffused by Reaper's bot lane.
I don't know, did Bato try to predict a flash or something? Because he just jumped a little bit too far, and Rianjay could just stand there and wasn't being hit. So that's really, really clutch that they survived this gank. I mean, it's really important.
Yeah, indeed. And I think Rift sees that as well, as they're still looking for the aggression. They've had the whole bot lane rotate towards that mid to maybe get a kill. And now we're turning around, trying to find purchase on real MJ. They're really looking to find these early kills and get some early damage in.
And I don't know, with this Flash being down, there is even the opportunity to gank him, because you have plenty of CC with Maokai, plenty of CC with Rel, and after those CCs you can always go for the traps, so Bato can't get out. So that definitely is a target to maybe gank.
Yes. Yeah, and there we have Trinket already there, but we have been able to dodge that Rel early enough. On the top lane, Wind very low as Lex tries to find a kill. I always find it funny to see a Malphite go for a kill, because he walks in such a funny way, in my opinion, being such a big rock. He's just like, hey, I want to kill you.
Yeah, but sometimes he can.
Oh, we find purchase here with that knock-up, and we do pull the flash out of Lawless nose.
Yeah, really, really important to hit this knock-up. In the end, they can even push it in. I think both mid laners had no mana, so one of them called their jungler to push it out, and then Lolo a little bit too over-aggressive and tried to even poke there a little bit. Got punished for that. But yeah, it's just a flash. He's probably still fine with that. Oh, Trinket gets spotted here. So in the end, this in-lane gank isn't working. And that's now the reason why White even slow pushed it. I mean, he was pushing it a little bit to maybe set up the dive, and now he just says, "Okay, screw it, I'm freezing it," and just changed his whole plan. Now he is pushing already with you, but just some change in mindset. Or just look at it, and that's the reason why it's not a counter pick. This Talia, it's so sad to see. He has damage plenty and can always sidestep the knock-up with his movement speed. So it's so hard to play for the Talia.
Yeah, definitely having a rough time. Running also quite a bit behind already in CS. So is Lex on the top lane against Wind, but... oh, well.
But it's a really slow game, you could say. Both teams. And I think that's the importance of this match. They don't want to be hyper aggressive to throw it away. And especially with the Rise and even the Jinx, you could even say that they are outscaling in the late game again. I think Reapers always goes for those scaling comps, so it's probably scaling a little bit better. Junglers kinda even, supports kinda even, and top laner maybe Malphite is scaling even a little bit better, just because the Crocodile isn't the heaviest scaler in the world. But it's always a threat, and I think that's the most important part. I'm really excited to see what item build Renekton will build, if it's played into Brawler's Claw, for example, or if it's just Sword Drinker, because they have a dive comp, so he needs to survive the engage, for example. That's the two types of item build.
Some purchase on the bot lane, but Trinket is right around the corner, and with the CC, Batu already takes quite a lot of damage. Liao just around the corner, channels the Q, doesn't find a way to go in properly. However.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have a small meetup between Lolo and Rift, Liao and Bakan. Liao just flashes over the wall, but here comes the ultimate and they're all there. He's still able to get away with the blast cone and his Q, and it's just a wild goose chase.
It was just Lawler with the squad, man. Lawler with the boys trying to teleport in. I mean, it's funny.
They really wanted to get that kill on Liao, because now Wind even came down to try and find it.
Yeah. They want this Y, man. They want it.
Ooh, but here we have some purchase on Batu, who is forced to flash away as Wind is right around the corner with Trinket, and now Bakan is in a bind, and he gets rooted, and he should not be able to survive. That's first blood going to Lolo.
Yeah, they just all flash. Just everybody flashed on this map now, more or less. In the end, one kill, and especially on Lawler. I mean, this guy kinda like the MVP of the hearts for the Twitch chat, at least. Oh, Bolo in the jungle, Trinket just outplaying it with the smackdown into the sapling. Wonderfully played by him. And yeah, this early game looks better for Reapers at the moment.
Yeah, definitely, as they take the advantage here in the early game already. A nice chunk of gold lead going to their name because of the 2 kills, but most importantly because they already have some pretty decent CS leads on top and middle lane. Definitely outpacing SLOTHS on those extents.
Yeah, and like funny, we just saw that the Q of Rel destroys the shield of the passive shield of Rakan. So it's a funny little interaction. That's why Rel is such a good pick into Rakan. Rakan has his passive shield into two single shields, so you can always go for some value with your own Q. And if he jumps in, you can always stun him and stuff. So just a good little counter pick coming out from Emriel. Like with the Fiddlesticks, when he jumps in, you fear him. Now when he jumps in, you instantly stun him. So definitely working him.
A small 1v1 on the top lane there. The usual. In the meantime, Liao picks up first Drake of the game.
Yeah, that's something. Rift definitely updated their Dragon play after the first 2 games, and now even contesting every single Drake from the last series to this one. So definitely the better plan. Like we said in the first game, it was a dangerous game to drop all the Drakes. I know they just go for Drake control again.
Ebu Lex face checks here and gets stunned by Wind. That top lane matchup. It's just
Ooh, Lolo might be in trouble. Oh, okay.
do not take the bet. Though it could have been done, but he is pretty close to the turret. And with that CS lead, is already pretty well with his mythic already.
Yeah, I mean, CS lead in top lane, CS lead in jungle, in mid lane. Bot lane is still close, and Kinetic is ahead a little bit, but that's why Reapers are even ahead in gold at the moment. 2 kills, some CS leads. Just grant them 2k at the moment. And Trinket is here at the bot lane. Oh, they tried to check one of the brushes, but that doesn't stop Trinket, so they could even try to bait it. I mean, Emil could just walk really aggressively to maybe get charged
Seem
on.
to be getting what they want. Sees and this is not a real MJ, but Lex is just around the corner. Comes an unstoppable force, and that should do it to get the kill on the real MJ. First, Liao has to be careful, is very low, however, but with the charms, we get him. No, Trinket is gonna die, but so is Liao, and we keep on pushing on to them. Amiel and Lolo are the sole survivors right there. 2v3 under the turret. We get the double kill by killing Lex. This is a rough one, though. 2-2.
And I mean, they really wanted to play that. I mean, Lex walked all the way to bot lane for this play. He didn't teleport it. He just walked to bot lane for this bot lane play. In the end, they traded evenly 2 for 2. Especially important that Lolo got 2 kills. And in the meantime, top lane is burning. I mean, Lex loses so much, probably 2 platings, maybe even 3 platings in the top lane, loses maybe 2 or 3 waves worth of minions, so that's really, really tough for him. But Renekton went for the Black Cleaver, and I don't know if I really like Black Cleaver. I mean, against Malphite, who is stacking a lot of armor, Black Cleaver is fine, but you have AP jungle, AP mid lane, AP support, so the Black Cleaver value isn't that high compared with just having maybe a Lee Sin in your team. Or maybe even another AD jungler, because then you would get a lot more value out of the penetration. But of course, it will help out in his own lane. It will help with Jinx as hyper carry later. So definitely a good pickup anyway. But kind of loses some value with this team comp.
Yeah, definitely. Still need to see how they fare, but right now it's still looking pretty good for Lolo. With a head 3-0 on top of his lead, and they try to go for the pickup on him, putting it all out on him, putting some nice damage in that situation. Turns around as a TP is coming in from Wind with Super Mega Death Rocket. We get some nice damage on Batu, and Bukan is trying to flee. He's going to use his own wall, but no, it's not enough. They pick up the kill on Bukan.
Oh, top lane maybe in danger. I mean, there's a lot of damage coming out from Trinket. I mean, he could even try to go for something there.
Yeah, I mean, with the AP damage should work out for him pretty well, as Lex is taking more and more damage, trying to flee under the turret. Unstoppable forces him under it. Nicely played. Waited for that one, most definitely. But now Lolo is also just around the corner. And that's a bit rougher.
Yeah.
And Kinetic now getting tower dived on the bot lane, is able to survive even... Nope, never mind, I thought that turret shot was going for Amiel, barely survives Amiel. Lex picks up the kill on Trinket at least, but Lolo is gonna pick himself up the 4th kill there.
So sad. Oh, so good for Lex. I mean, what's sad? I mean, he traded 1 for 1. That's really good. But so sad for Trinket, of course. And I see a big problem, and he is blue and he is fat, and it's probably a mage. and he will probably carry a game with those stats. Like this Rise could be like the biggest problem for Rift they ever faced, because if we remember last game, Lolo was really fat on Tristana, but Tristana is an ADC. She is really fast to kill. You Y ult, you go on her, she's dead. But Ryze is a tank. He is essentially a full tank with Seraphine, with Tear, with maybe even another health item. He has 3k health at least, maybe even 4k later. So this guy, especially with his own shields and stuff, is not that easy to kill, like a Tristana. You cannot just ult him and he is dead. He will probably survive the early burst with his shields. So that could be really a big problem for the team comp, because last time you dived on the backline, they are just dying, and this time Lawler will survive it. So I see a big problem coming up for Rift.
Yeah, absolutely a true danger. However, think about it, the Rift Sloths decided to not ban Ryze, so they must have something up their sleeve, and maybe it is just a ton of CC, but as you said it, you can't just season and desist and kill him. He's gonna survive that. Are they gonna use every single piece of CC perfectly aligned in terms of timing to get him? Who knows, but that seems pretty hard to do to me.
Yeah, say it. Oh, they tried to go for a bot lane play there.
Yeah, and here we have the tower dive on the real MJ 4v1, but real MJ might be able to survive long enough for the rest of the team to join up. No, Khan is gonna get the kill, but real MJ is gonna get the return kill on Batu.
He just kills him. I mean, what a play there by real MJ. Of course, he loses 2 summoner spells, but still trading 1 for 1. Now they trade a tier 2 mid against the tier 2 bot lane, so even trading there even. And then even some top lane gold coming in for this turret. So Reapers get the best out of this rotation of Rift and go for those counter crossmap plays.
Yeah, and it works really well. Now they can take that tier 2 without getting too much resistance, although they do go in. Liao finds purchase. We now have Batu coming in with the Charm Wind is getting real low, but so is Liao. He's the first to fall in this team fight, as rest of the Sloths are now there to put out some damage, but Batu is going to fall right after him, and Lolo is just on the streak, destroying everything as they pick up 4 kills and soon a 5th. As the Khan all alone is not going to be able to survive for long. That's a double kill, going to win after double kill for Lolo, and that's an ace.
Yeah, and there was a reason why this Rise was banned. 2 times, 3 times, and now they let it open, and now he just breaks your neck. He carried the whole series against Dynasty. 3 games, Lawlor, 3 games on Rise, and he carried everything. And now he just carries them against Rift Sloths as well. You really need to ban it out. I think that could be game already. I mean, they are just skating. Oh, Lawler maybe get caught here.
Yeah, here we are, Batu coming in with Lex. The damage is going to come in from Liao, who's a bit further behind. Or Kinetic could also still join in. We go in, here's the Caesar and desist. Now we'll have the other knock up, and we keep him there for a bit. We already have TPs coming in from Reapers. We get him real low. Now with Super Mega Death Rocket, Liao is going to fall. The situation turns around as now it's Reapers who are 4v3, and they keep on pushing. Batu is next to fall. Kinetic goes in. Lolo might get the shutdown, so he does, but he's going to die himself. Now Buchanan has joined it. He's in the middle of Reapers, is going to die, and Lex all alone is trying to get away with his flash, but he's gonna get smited, slowed, and rooted, and he's also gonna fall, and that's another ace going to Reapers, this time around with 1 loss, but only 1 loss.
Yeah, it was a big shutdown for Kinetic in the end. 1k gold just in his own pockets, but what a catch. In the end, they lost so much. 5 people and an inhib for 1k. That's not a good trade. And we saw the biggest problem. This guy, he can't die. I mean, they caught him with 3 people, and he survived the initial engage. Kinetic needed to ult in there to secure this 1 kill. And like versus a Tristana, she would have just died there. But this Rise is just unbeatable, and that's the biggest problem. And he will just get stronger and stronger. That's the biggest problem. So he's already a monster. So he will become like the biggest end boss Rift has ever seen.
Yeah, and are they going to be up to the challenge? That's hard to say. I mean, he's not only ahead in items, but he's got 2 levels against his direct competitor, 4 against the lowest level member of Rift SLOTHS Batu. I mean, he's so far ahead in just all the levels.
Yeah, I know they secure their first Drake of the game. And I mean, I talked about monsters, but I mean, look at Wind, 5, 0, and 5.
Yeah.
He is a monster as well. And even though if you kill them both, there's still the real MJ, who is not touched at all and will probably just kill them all. If they really kill 2 of them, then the real MJ just carries the team fight. So I don't see a world where Rift is really realistically winning this game. Maybe with this catch.
They have the catch on Emil, trying to get some damage about, but once again, it's not enough. It doesn't work out. They don't get the kill. We have the TP coming in from Lolo, and now they have the higher firepower now on the mid lane with Lolo coming in, and they just need to fall back once again. And they look for the catchers, and they do find them, but they just don't have enough damage yet to make it work. And yeah, it's a bit sad to see.
Oh, they in my opinion, they could have went for the Baron, but they first of all wanted to recall. I see the reason why. Ryze now has this upgraded Void stuff, so he makes damage. So they definitely wanted this reset, but now he can just start up this Baron, probably with Trinket and with Emil. Oh, they tried to catch the Rel, but yeah, he just gets out. Teleport coming out from Malphite. It could be the last stand already for Rift. They need to steal it, they need to win a team fight, but it's a rough task.
Yeah, but altogether might be able to gather up the damage they need to take down Lolo. But already Reapers are anticipating it and pushing back onto Rift SLOTHS. Rift SLOTHS are kind of taking it back. We have a wall to the pit now. Trying to find purchase. Yes, there we go. Emil is starting the Engage. We get the damage out onto Wind. First shot then going to Rift. SLOTHS. The situation is turning around as Lolo picks up 2 kills with a double kill and just destroys them with a same damage. Now we're able to get another kill on sides of Rift SLOTHS. But no, almost were we able to get Lolo, but no, it's not enough. As real MJ, as you've said before, is able to clean it up.
And Trinket does the Baron meantime. Yeah, it sadly was no Penta for Lolo, but he definitely showed us why you should always ban this Ryze. They will just finish it. They will win this series 3-1, like I predicted at the start of the stream. Wonderfully played by the Reapers. Oh, last stand maybe coming up here for the Rift SLOTHS.
Yeah, this is definitely the last stand. There's there in the base, and Nexus is falling faster than they can anticipate. And that's the win for Reapers in this whole series. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the semifinals and Rift SLOTHS run for the 2nd Division ES LoL. They will be ending up in the first spot here, and we still have something to look for on Friday, because there we'll see the big finals between Aoma Esports and Reapers Gaming, who came from the bottom. They were not in the 2nd division, they were not invited in the 2nd division. They came in through the qualifiers, worked their way up in a close fashion to these playoffs, and now they're gonna play the finals. What a story! What a story from Reapers Gaming.
Yeah, and they almost missed the playoffs. I mean, they needed to play a tiebreaker versus Pertinax. I mean, just imagine. Maybe we would have seen the magical run from Pertinax, but now we see it from the Reapers. And they struggled, lost 1 game, but still deserved now in this finals. And like they came in as the 4th place and now beating through the losers gauntlet all the way through. And get the chance of winning it all. And I think it was one of our first storylines we talked about in the first couple of match days. It would be the Cinderella story for them. And yeah. I mean, the funny thing about Reapers is it's an Italian org. They come from Italy to conquer Benelux. I mean, it's so funny.
It's kind of insane when you think about it.
They
Yeah.
just crush us. Maybe Italy is stronger than Benelux. Who knows? But we will see it. Aoma still has a chance to just hold up
Mhm.
everything in Benelux, and they look scary. I mean, just think about it. Aoma stomped 5 games, or no, not stomped, but I mean they won the last 5 games against Rift, and meanwhile Rift at least won 1 game against Reapers.
Yeah.
So Reapers are really looking strong, but Aoma looks really, really strong. So who knows who will win it?
Yeah, and we know Homa is a one-man army, so
Yeah.
it's going to be a tough one, but the Reapers really living up to the name as well. As the Reapers here of the second division, we'll see if they will be able to reap their last soul on Friday, 7 p.m. here on Rift Entertainment's channel. I'm definitely hyped to see it, but I'm also definitely hyped to get some rest for that beautiful voice, because man, those games really took the best of me. Completely insane matches, beautiful matches from both teams. Good run from Dynasty, who lost against Reapers Friday. Good run from Rift SLOTHS, who lost now against Reapers. And best of luck to Oma and Reapers on Friday. I'd say we leave it at that. And we'll see you guys on Friday, 7 p.m. here on Twitch. See you soon.